Hey everybody, it is May 15th, 2009. I am Sonic Sons, and there's a major issue in American politics right now that I haven't talked about yet in an online video. In part because I want to address it as thoroughly as possible, and maybe just in part for not getting around to it. It's really a set of related issues about America's moral standards as applied to wartime. There's been warrantless wiretapping, we had previously, and extraordinary conditions, secret prisons, and torture being the hot button topic most recently. I'm going to comment on a small portion of the debate for the moment. I will say Obama has been somewhat of a disappointment in this area. He's released a few memos, and he says, anyway, that we've stopped torturing, etc. But he hasn't gone as far as many of us had hoped. Still a lot better than George Bush, in my opinion. Still a whole lot better, but turns out he's not perfect, as any reasonable person would have been able to predict. Now, the portion of this issue, debate, that I was going to address is a basic notion that's come up a number of times when embarrassing, shall we say, information has come to light. For instance, memos released detailing, precise torture methods that were approved, or enhanced interrogation, or whatever you want to call it. And more recently, there's been apparently pictures that were taken of detainees and so forth. And Obama, among other people, for instance McCain, is fighting to make sure these pictures don't get released. I remember back in the Abu Ghraib scandal. Do you remember that? There was good pictures there of prisoners being mistreated in a number of ways, and our own members of the military smiling as they mistreated their inmates. When that scandal broke, and there was a lot of, anger, a lot of shock, and a lot of discussion, shall we say, back and forth, between whose fault this was, or whether it was okay or not, or whether yada yada. I remember hearing, and I hope I can find a link to post up, about some new policy among, in the Defense Department, or some portion of the military, I don't know. There was a policy of restricting camera use among soldiers. That we shall to move rather quickly to take away cameras from soldiers, particularly those at prisons, to prevent any of this scandal thing from ever happening again. And I remember reading about this. Again, I don't know the details, but at the very least it was proposed. I'm pretty sure it was an actual policy implemented by somebody. I remember reading about this and thinking, this is insane. What? Excuse me, there was brutality going on at one of our prisons, and we found out about it thanks to these cameras. And you want to take cameras away from soldiers? No, you want to do the exact opposite. We want to give cameras to the soldiers. We want to let's send everyone cameras. And say, if you witness anything which is wrong, anything which goes against moral or legal conduct, please take a picture of it, send it to the relevant authorities, or maybe even to the media. There are certain common sense restrictions. Hopefully, there are, I imagine, legitimately secret documents, certain intelligence. You want to know. You don't want to take a picture of that, and that would be revealing classified information, etc., etc. And there's a degree of don't just send things to a media immediately. Perhaps if something's ambiguous, you go to your immediate superiors. You work within the system. In certain cases, sure. But one way or the other, when abuse happens, we have to document it. We have to know that it happened, so we can do something about it. So we can stop it from happening. There's people who want to take away the cameras. They seem to think that if we ignore the problem, then it doesn't exist. They seem to think that the real problem is not that we did something wrong, but that other people found out about it. I've heard the phrase or the idea bandied about that if such and such document, such and such picture, such and such anything were to be revealed, it would cause tremendous damage to the prestige of the United States, or the prestige of the military or the CIA or whomever happens to be implicated in whatever most recent thing, right? What is prestige? Prestige is being well thought of by the outside world. Prestige is popularity. It's what people think of you. What about honor? Honor is what you really are. Honor is, shall we say, what God thinks of you. Whatever your beliefs about God may be, you could at least use it as a metaphor. You know what I mean? The ultimate truth of you. That's what your honor is. Your character. Mindful of your character. It determines your destiny. I remember hearing that phrase a while back. Be mindful of your character. Prestige and honor do not always match, It's quite possible to be an honorable person, to be good and noble, and yet to have a tremendous lack of prestige. If people are misled or foolish and they think that you've done something wrong and really you haven't. Or they're aware of some activity you've done, they think it's wrong and really it was the right thing to do. Similarly, you can be of low honor but high prestige. You can be a wicked, corrupt person, but thanks to good publicity or so forth, lots of people think you're great. It happens, If we're going to keep mentioning things in a religious context, I happen to remember a quote from the Bible, which says that in the final judgment, many who are first shall be last, and many who are last shall be first. And I've always interpreted that to mean that people who are first in the public eye may end up being last on the objective scale. And people who are last in the public eye may be first on the objective scale. People can be confused. People can be wrong. And you know something? If there's abuse going on and you cover it up, you're encouraging people to be wrong. You're encouraging them to think of you as the great old friendly American government. And we never do anything evil. Ever. Look, I love America. But I love it too much to let its flaws go unnoticed. Evil thrives best in the darkness, right? That's first off kind of a cliche. Evil often represented by darkness, etc. If by darkness we mean ignorance, then yes, evil thrives best in the darkness.